dusty road in a near inaccessible part of the Arabian Desert, we are entering what is known today as Petra, capital of the Nabatean Empire for over 600 years. Petra's outskirts of the city host homes to prominent people and prominent burial places. Around us, we see many elevated stones. Most blend into the atmosphere and just look like a normal rock. But these stones were where excarnation was practiced. After someone was deceased, the Nabateans placed the bodies on these tall structures to purify the bodies before returning the bones to the earth. After a couple of months, the skin would decay, leaving just the bones. These bones then were buried in the top floor of the homes that we see along our route. The Nabateans believed that by keeping the connection with the deceased above or near their residence, they were still able to honor and respect the person. We now enter the Sikh to what was formerly known as Rakmu. While the Nabatean language wasn't well documented, its origins were Semitic and related to Aramaic. In fact, only a couple of inscriptions in Nabatean exist today and are cherished by people near and far. As we walk through the Sikh, we see irrigation channels that have brought on one side drinking water and on the other irrigation into the city center. The irrigation water was also used for camels, horses, and other animals who didn't need the purity of water that humans do. This water was sourced by the nearby river and dams that in recent times, thank you global warming, has flooded the area. Rakmu was tended to by the Bedouins ever since Petra was deserted around 100 AD. As the Roman Empire began to expand, new trading routes were established, which eradicated the need for this beautiful incense trading route to exist any longer. After the trading economy started to fade, its people left and it became part of Bedouin lore until Johann Ludwig Burckhardt decided to see if maybe the Bedouin myth was a truth and set on a quest in the early 1800s. After gaining enough trust and rapport with the nearby Arabs, they dressed him as one of their own and took him into the lost city. Upon entering, he documented the city in meticulous detail. And from what he documented in 1812 when he first visited to what we see over 200 years later, it's clear the Western world does shit when it comes to taking care of treasured places. The Nabateans were polytheistic. Throughout the city, we see many idols to many gods. Ra, being one of the most cherished and powerful ones, is the same Ra god the Egyptians worshipped. Whenever a new god would appear from those coming through the city, the Nabateans would establish some sort of new idols around the new god, so no one got left out, inclusion all from over 2,000 years ago. Woo!
We accept the water,
At the bottom of the Sikh, we see the Treasury. It's called this because it is told that the urn at the top was an old pharaoh's treasure. This was never discovered in recent times, and while it may be true, I love the mystery. The Treasury was a tomb for someone of great significance due to the treasure hidden on top and the ornate outside that took years to complete. The inside, you ask?
What's in the box?
It's just a plain 11 by 11 meter box with 10 meters in height. And of course, not open to the public. Beyond the Treasury though, there are about 10 kilometers of city. It's shocking that while this is a huge metropolis today that we can imagine with buzzing streets, temples, amphitheaters, and animals everywhere on the streets, it's estimated that over 80% of the city still remains buried. Brown University in the US of A funds quite a lot of the excavations ongoing here, but it's an expensive and tenuous process. Currently, Jordan is putting its national funds into infrastructure, healthcare, and security. The lack of a full excavated Petra doesn't deter tourists from visiting this site one bit. And at a 500% price hike from what the locals pay, 50 JD for tourists, 1 JD for locals, there's not much economic ROI in the effort for Jordan to excavate it. I commend this economic decision. Up these windy steps, We walked the path of royalty in a palace that used to tower over the city. Gardens, water, and shade. After Petra was abandoned around 100 AD, many used it as a fortress. Small shelters in the rocks to hide from the blistering summer sun, and of course, evade whatever was chasing them. The tomb of Aaron is said to be seated on top of one of the rocks around here. Petra is a place we all need to cherish. As a Westerner, I need to give you some tips if you decide to go here. First, take the Jordan Pass. We'll talk about that more in the future, but it's worth it as your entry to Petra becomes free with the Jordan Pass. Second, the only transportation certified by UNESCO is via golf cart. All of the horses, camels, and other stuff is done by the Bedouins. And while the Bedouin trade isn't really legally regulated by UNESCO, they are the champions of this area and they are master hustlers. And while I appreciate a good hustle, it gets a bit much after a while. So the best way to respond to them when they keep pestering you if you want something is just to say no. Don't feel bad. Don't start a conversation. Say no. They will continue sometimes and try to haggle you out of money, but no works. I experienced a police incident when I was in Petra, with a couple complaining to the local authorities that the Bedouins tried to haggle them out of money. And truth be told, we are all visitors here. The Bedouins are the ones who own this place. You are in someone else's territory, so respect it and respect the rules. And if someone tells you it costs money to climb up a rock or enter a place, even though it's not regulated by the authorities, respect the rules of the place. We all have the Bedouins to thank for keeping this place in such pristine shape for thousands of years, and we all must do our own duty to thank them in our own way. Also, take a lot of water with you and cover your skin. When I went here, it was about 50 degrees Celsius outside. And while there was a nice breeze, it got hot. I saw so many people taking off their clothes and not having any backpacks or anything to carry water or snacks. One of the things I've learned from living with desert people is that clothes make you cooler in the heat. The loose, baggy clothes act as a fan on your skin whenever you walk or whenever the wind blows. Sure, brown skin is nice and looks amazing, but I saw so many people overheating and having to pay up to 500 JD for a 20-minute horse journey they could have easily avoided if they were a bit smarter. To close off today, I want to remember a quote by Jawad Habib. Petra does not belong to any single people, nor to any single epoch. It is the patrimony of humanity. Let us all protect it, along with protecting planet Earth. We only have one. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks for helping me build this channel. See you next time. Bye!